180 years ago, here on Toad Lane, a group who became known as the Rochdale Pioneers created the first cooperative store and created the cooperative movement in the UK. And it's now a rather nice museum. But if you look around Toad Lane, if you come here, you might be a bit confused because it's a street that's less than 50 metres long. It goes from nowhere to nowhere. It's incredibly hard to find. You could wander around Rochdale all day and never find it. It literally consists of a museum and a pub. You might say, why on earth would you put your shop here? And the answer, of course, is that here was not here before 1960s car-centric development smashed the town centre apart. So let's look at what Toad Lane can tell us about what 1960s planners did to Rochdale town centre. Okay, so I'm here on the steps of St Mary's Church, which together with the museum and the pub over there and a house there forms an island of surviving oldness amid the carnage of the 60s redevelopment north of Yorkshire Street. I mean, for reference, over there is a multi-storey car park and over there is the Exchange shopping centre. But I've got a map here, which is a map of Old Rochdale that my daughter gave me for Christmas because she knows I like maps and history. And if you look at that, even with my inexpert knowledge of Rochdale and its history, you can start to get a glimpse of what's gone wrong. So if we open it up, okay, so we have Toad Lane coming all the way down here to a meeting with a street called Law Street, which no longer exists. And the Pioneer shop, the museum, is up there somewhere, I think. But then you can immediately see what the problem is, because I know that if you drive into Rochdale from the east, you come along the A58 here, and then it forks here, and you go north of this church. And you come all the way through here and along where Cheetham Street used to be here. So on the map, there's a nice street called Cheetham Street that comes off Yorkshire Street and goes along. And I know that Cheetham Street is now just a little stub of nothingness. And this is now a dual carriageway. But when I was looking at this map last night, preparing for this video, it was incredibly confusing because it's all changed. I just couldn't find my bearings. I was struggling to figure out where anything was because all of this is so different. It's not simply that they put a dual carriage through here, it's that all of this. So I suspect we're actually going to do a side-by-side map comparison, try and figure out just what the hell's happened. But I'm going to walk around and try and get some snippets of the surviving fragments which start to tell their own story, and then we'll retreat to the laptop. Okay, so I'm now just beyond the end of Goat Lane. And you can see the Bound pub there, and the Pioneers Museum is just beyond it. And then this is what used to be Cheetham Street here, which is now you can see rather busy dual carriageway, but you can also see there's not a lot over there. So we've got a Dunelm over there, some car parks and so on, everything's set right back, a Lidl, and then I think it's Seven Sisters, the tower blocks, and then the Exchange shopping centre over there. So there's clearly, this was, I think, from looking at the map, this should have been, or was, a dense, quite vibrant, I suspect, neighbourhood. And at this point, I want to go over there, but this is now so car-centric, I'm not even quite sure how I actually get over there as a pedestrian. Let's explore. Okay, so in an effort to, literally cross the road, I've walked 5 minutes down here. I've got to follow that barrier all the way around there, then cross over there. Then there's a pedestrian crossing there, but then it's grass verges all the way back there. So maybe I should go over there and cut through the estate. This is insane. All I want to do is cross the road. What is this, America? Whoever heard of, where's the pavement? Okay, I was originally over there. I've walked down there to that junction, and then walked round, cross up, come up. It might not look like a hill, but it does feel a bit like one. We've got to go up there and then back, and hopefully I might have crossed the road to the other bit of Toad Lane. Yeah, it turns out the answer was I should have used the underpass. I didn't know it existed. So I didn't have to walk all the way down there. I could just found the other entrance to this underpass, which is probably somewhere in the shopping centre, and risked walking through the dark and the wee smells. But I guess that's maybe on me. Actually, no, it's not. Okay, so I'm now standing opposite where the stub of Toad's Lane is, just over there. You can see the Bound pub, and behind that, that's the Pioneers Museum. And then in that direction, we have the other Toad Lane. So that is also now still Toad Lane, which goes quite a long way away. And this is a junction with Toad Lane and, I kid you not, High Street. So this is a street that runs here past, well, nothing really, just like park from the Dunelm down to a load of parked cars. And then going that way, it turns into the Lidl car park and eventually lets out on the road over there. And I mean, and High Street was on my 1928 map, so either the Victorians who created the street were having a giant joke when they called it High Street, or maybe once upon a time this was a street lined with shops and businesses and life, as opposed to what it is now, which frankly, well, I need to bleep as it, but it's a bit grossy, it's a bit grim. And you can't help but look at this and think something has gone horribly, horribly wrong here. Okay, so I'm now at the other end of the High Street. I mean, you can see, I mean, this... I mean, I don't want to sound like a complete snob, but I don't think I'm being unreal saying this is all a bit grim. And the mad thing is, the main High Street, what should be the main High Street, is literally just over there, just beyond those houses. We're right in what should be the heart of the town centre. But anyway, I found what I think is a pedestrian underpass there, so I'm going to risk the gloom and the possibly dodgy smells. If the video stops now, then I guess it was reconstructed later by someone else from found footage, Blair Witch style, so thank you to them, I guess. Wish me luck, and I might see the other side. Okay, yeah, so I made it through the underpass alive, and I'm now in what's left of, this is literally what's left of Cheetham Street, which, looking at the map, was once quite a big street that basically went in that direction where the dual carriageway now is. Funny enough, I met these three older people in the underpass. Had a nice chat with them. They were complaining and mock, joking rant about all the work the council's doing, trying to put in better paths and stuff. And I made the point, it's not really the council's fault, it's the fault. Well, the phrase I actually used was somewhere there's a cemetery where the grave of a 60s planner needs urinating on. But, yeah. So you can see that's where the dual carriageway is, and that's literally Yorkshire Street down there, where you can see the British Heart Foundation shop. And so that's what should be, that is kind of the main street of Rochdale, except they've built a new development which has succeeded in sucking the life out of this end of the high street and moving it down to the new development, but that's a separate story. Okay, so this is where it all goes wrong. So I've walked further down Yorkshire Street. I'm looking east now, and if you carry on in that direction down Yorkshire Street, you'll eventually get to Halifax. And Yorkshire Street, or at least in postal address terms, continues on in that direction. Carry on there, cross the road there, and you'll be walking down the, in quotes, high street of Rochdale. But the A58, at this point, turns and goes this way. So it goes north of that church, where once it would have gone south, and it carries on. It now gets renamed St Mary's Gate, which is an old street name that used to be way further to the west, and it runs on its new course. And I don't know where they were going to put the traffic, but this is where it goes wrong. Okay, so this is a website done by the National Library of Scotland. I will put a link in the comments. But as you can see, it shows two maps side by side. There's audit survey data. So on the right, I have a modern map, and on the left, I have a map from 1930. And the thing with these is they are synchronized. So they're always shown the same spot. So if I go here, you can see this is the museum on what's left of Toad Lane, and the Bound pub next to it. And you can see it's this building here. And you can see that Toad Lane used to go up to the junction of Cheetham Streets, which no longer exists. Well, it does, but it exists only this section here now exists. And the new dual carriageway has been smashed through here. And the whole thing's been renamed St Mary's Gate. But previously, St Mary's Gate didn't start until about here, the junction with Toad Lane. And you can see what's gone. I mean, there's Unitarian Church has gone, Rochdale Workman's Club has gone. Toad Lane below this point here has gone. You can see St Mary's Gate, the new St Mary's Gate goes down here. This St Mary's Gate has gone. If we go across, this street here has gone. Spotland Street is there. Up from that point on, it's gone. All of this is gone. Holland Street is sort of there, but Albert Street has gone. Blackwater Street has gone. You can see all things like the upper market, the new market hall, the lower market down here. All of this is gone. And Toad Lane would have continued on south through this neighbourhood here to a junction with Lord Street, where Lord Street no longer exists. Lord Street would have met Blackwater Street here and Newgate. Newgate now exists, but only as far as here, and it then curves around. This whole junction here is gone. So Yorkshire Street still exists, but it's a lot of stuff here. If we go across where I was walking, I was attempting to cross the road from Toad Lane there to Toad Lane's junction with High Street there. You can see High Street looks a bit more like I had a bit more on it before. Well, still maybe not that much. I walked down here to the junction here with Newgate, where I then attempted to cross the road here, and I then ended up walking up sort of what would have been up here, and then across there and through what's now the new estates. So I mean, you can see it's a fascinating map. You can see that it's just absolute carnage. It just utterly changed. So I did also do a map, which I tried to take a copy of this, screenshot of this, and mark it up. Okay, so yeah, this is a marked up copy of that expanded map. So the green there is where the Rochdale Pioneers shop was, what's now the museum. The orange is the bit of Toad's Lane that no longer exists. And the red is all the streets that no longer exist. And when I say the streets no longer exist, I don't mean that all the buildings on the street have been knocked down. I mean, literally, the street itself is not there anymore. The actual street plan has been changed. So you can see why the Pioneers Museum now is so isolated. The street it was on, that street is gone now. But not only is the rest of the street gone, the street to which it connected has also gone. And you can see just how much this whole neighbourhood, between the Exchange shopping centre, the dual carriageway smashing sort of through here and down here, and then the two new colleges and the housing estate, the tower blocks being built here, there's not really much left. So the irony is that when I go shopping with my daughter, we often go to Bury, which is the next town along. We drive through Rochdale along this dual carriageway to get to Bury because it's a nicer shopping centre. Rochdale's a bit grim. So basically the 60s planners smashed apart their town centre to build a dual carriageway, which makes it easier to drive through their town to the next town along, which is now nicer. because the town centre wasn't smashed apart so badly. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what the point is. It's just stunning, the degree to. It's difficult to imagine how nice a town centre this could have been, how charming it could have been. Instead, what's left is, I feel very sorry for the planners now, because I feel like looking at that map and all that red on it and saying, well, I don't know where to begin. It's so broken. What do you do? But anyway, so that's what the apparently stupid location of the Rochdale Pioneers' first shop can tell us about just how badly Rochdale town centre was treated by car-centric developments.